Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. Okay, I finally did it. I finally bought this. It's actually been discontinued, I think, for years. Again, you could tell by the older packaging design by Crosley. But yeah, this is an iteration of the famous Spin Clean. That company went out of business, I believe, although I think they're selling them again. I'm not sure. There's so many iterations of it. But essentially, they all work on the same principle. You've got a trough full of chemical solution and some brushes right here, and then you put the dirty disc in and you rotate it around. This is compatible 7-inch, 10-inch, 12-inch. This normally, I got this second in Charles, this normally retails for $69.95, and that's ridiculous to me because when you talk about materials, this is a piece of plastic and some cleaner, so it's way too expensive. This ticket price right here is $50. However, I got it for $30 because I got some discounts, coupon code. You can text the thing and you get a discount, and then they had an additional sale, yada, yada, yada. Here's the box. It's pretty simple stuff. It looks like, I'm not sure why this isn't open here. I guess it's a cap on top of that. But yeah, pretty simple. And to go with this and to supremely test this, I have a stack of filthy vinyl here. And this is probably, now I've done the deep clean. First of all, when it comes to cleaning stuff, we've done everything. I've done shows about every kind of cleaning gizmo, gadget, solution you can imagine, except for the Spin Clean type of cleaner. So I'm really curious. People say they swear by these. They say they do a great job. They deep clean. So I'm like, let's get some dirty discs. Actually, my wife's idea. She's like, let's get some vinyl that's trashed. Let's go to the thrift store. No better place to go for dirty vinyl. I just got done doing an overhaul to mine. So for once, my vinyl wasn't the dirtiest vinyl in town. I came across this copy of In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Look at this. This thing looks like it was in a coffin rotting away with a corpse for several years. I mean, this thing, I really pray that that's dirt. That's all I can say. I pray that that's dirt. It is disgusting. Years ago, we did a show, and these records are not as dirty as this one. But I figured what a better way to test it than by doing this, right? So that's what we're going to do. Years ago, we did a show where we tried the glue method, where you take some wood glue, and I took a similarly water-damaged record, which I think is what that is. Again, I just hope it's not. What kind of plumbing are we talking about, right? I took the glue, put it on there, left it overnight, and it did an amazing clean. It still had the polish. The record was as gross as that, and after pulling it out, or the glue off of there, it had that rainbow sheen. It looked beautiful. It was truly amazing. Okay, so this, by the way, is or was available in a variety of colors. Victrola had one at one point, or they do have one. There's versions by Studebaker. So I'm going to put some links down below to a few different ones you can pick if you want. If this works, I mean, I don't know. We're going to experience it together. Okay, these pieces are off. I don't know if that's an easy fix or if they're supposed to be off or what. So basically, this is what the insides look like. We've got the different rollers, 45, 78, and 33. So I guess you just put the roller where you want it kind of deal. And on this side as well. You got the cleaning cloth. It's like a, well, that's a nice cloth. That's like a microfiber cleaning cloth. You've got the solution, vinyl rinse, or vinyl shine record rinse. And that's it. As you can see, it's a hollow trough, and there's felt pads in here pushed together tightly. Put it on 33. So yeah, you can clean any size of record you want to. I'm not sure where these caps go. Oh, I see. They're just like decorative. So looks like they just popped off. It looks totally cosmetic. Let's see here. I don't know why you would have to have that on, or they're just going to pop right off. Okay, so that's that. I mean, it's pretty simple. I dropped one of the rollers. The rollers have kind of like a rubber piece in the middle there, so your vinyl isn't rubbing on the plastic part. Although it's smooth plastic, so I wouldn't think that would be too damaging. And here's the solution. So let's see here how this works. I've never had one of these before. A lot of people have recommended them. Finally took the plunge. I figured, hey, this would be a fun experiment. So we're gonna experiment together because I don't know what I'm doing, which isn't different than the typical day. Remove the lid, remove the supplies, pre-wash the microfiber cloths, wash only with whites, detergent, and bleach. So that's when you wash this separately. Install the rollers, fill the vinyl cleaner with the distilled water to the fill line on the inner side of the basin. Okay, so there is a fill line, just like your ramen soup. So let me do that next. I'm gonna go ahead and fill that up. Okay, I don't have any distilled water, but I have filtered water. So we're gonna make do with what we have here. I'm gonna fill it up to the fill line, just like that. Hopefully you guys can kind of see what's going on. All right. It's kind of dark down in there, but I think you get the point. Let's see if I can get a better angle here. Bear with me. Come on. You get the idea. There's water in there. Okay. So now that we've got the water in there, let's see what's next. Pour the cleaning solution over the top of the inserted brushes in the wash basin. Suggested using 3 capfuls for standard filling. Good for about 50 records. Wow, you can clean 50 records off of one set of 3 capfuls. Adjust your amount accordingly based on your needs. Insert the record into the vinyl cleaner, rotate clockwise 3 cycles, and then counterclockwise 3 cycles, carefully removing and wiping the record with the microfiber cloth in a clockwise circular motion. Once dry, your record is ready to be played or returned to the inner sleeve. Okay, so 3 capfuls, and we're gonna pour it right on these brushes. So I don't know if you can see. So this one, the brushes are right here. I think I might have said earlier that there was brushes down here. This one has one brush that's vertical, or one set of brushes, and that's where it sort of pinches. And that's where we want to apply 3 capfuls of this solution. It just smells like kind of regular cleaner. I wonder if you can make this at home. I'm not sure what it actually consists of, but I'm sure there's a way to do it at home. I don't know. So this will be good for 50 records. So I guess I know what I'm doing after I get done filming. That's probably cleaning more records. So there we go. We should be ready to go. 3 turns in each direction. And yeah, I think I'm going to start with one of the cleaner records just because I don't want to... I hope that's not poop. I mean, I really do. What do you guys think? I'm thinking mud. You think mud? I hope mud. Anyway, we're going to start with a not quite that dirty record. First up, we have Peter the Flameless Dragon. Let's go ahead and get... Actually, I'm going to put this away so I don't get it wet. And we're going to put the record down in. It's a tight fit, but that's what you want. And this is a 2-hand kind of thing. Very awkward to do with the camera right in the middle, so bear with me. And we're just going to start rotating 3 times around each way. I would make sure your hands are clean for this because you have to touch the record. I mean, I guess you could use those little clamshell record mitts, but it would be a little bit tricky. All right, around and around we go. It gets the record very wet. Obviously, you can tell that. It does take quite a bit of force to move it. Oops, a little wheel popped out there. There. It does take quite a bit of force to move it, but I think that's the idea. So it's deep cleaning down in the midst of those grooves. Just like that. Okay. Those inner pieces, I don't know why it has those. Those are totally non-structural, but... And it pulled one of the brushes off, so I'm just going to slide that back. When you're done with it, you're supposed to take those brushes out to clean them anyway. So now the record is clean, but it's soaking wet. It's amazing. You can tell it's clean deep down in the grooves because it is very wet. So I'm just going to gently wipe this in a circular motion, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing to the other side. Then it's gonna have to air dry. So I got a towel laid out, and we'll go ahead and stick it over there. Hard to tell right off the bat if it's done a good job or not, but we'll look in a minute. This is an interesting record I picked up. Looks like it's in Spanish, so that's cool. 45. Let's go ahead and clean it. So we just move these wheels to the 45 position, and the rest should be the same. This is a much easier process. You can do this one-handed. This is so cool. I've always wanted one of these, or I should say, since I got back into vinyl, I've wanted one of these. So this is neat to be able to play with it. Go the other direction a little bit. There's some debate about whether or not you can get record labels wet. I personally have never had an issue with a label getting wet. I think it's styrene records, 45s, that actually have like stuck-on sticker labels, which would be more of an issue than a label that's pressed in. This is really cool. This is fun. This is actually a really fun project. Next up, we have your musical trip around the island of Hawaii with the Hilo Kalimas. We'll do this one, and then we'll do that super nasty record. Otherwise, this would be a 30-minute video of me cleaning my records. Okay, this is interesting. This one just kind of has some dust on it. It's not that trashed. Oops, I gotta put these back. This is cool because I have a lot of 78s that need cleaning as well. Okay. It is bizarre having to touch it so much. It's probably better, like rubber gloves would probably be a really good idea. I know some of the stronger record cleaning solutions, that's what they tell you to use. But this is what we have. Okay, going back. Other way a bit. I don't know if I'm doing the full 3 rotations or not, so if I'm not, I apologize, but you know it's supposed to happen anyway. It's definitely a wet process. They come out of there very wet. Okay. Yeah, cool. Put that guy over there. All right, now it's time for the real test. This we'll know right away, right? Inagata DeVita. I actually have another copy of this. We haven't reviewed this yet. Hey, look, the label does look like it's peeling up there a little bit. This is filthy. This is probably going to ruin the batch of liquid, but here we go. Oh, it's a dirty record. Absolutely filthy. A few times here. Can't be any worse than it already is, right? This roller just popped off. I didn't have it snapped down all the way. Seems like when the rollers are going up, like it's rotating up against the roller, they have a tendency to push up, which would make sense. Okay, now let's go this way. Man alive. There's still a little bit of dirt or whatever on the side there. Okay. All right, let's see how we did. I'm going to take, this is a big no-no typically, but rather than get the other cloth dirty, I'm going to use some paper just to get the dirt off the side there. Hopefully it's, okay, don't do that. Just try and wipe that up a little bit. I'm just touching on the very edge because I don't want that on my nice cloth. And let's see the other side here. Gross. It's like sludge. What on earth do you think that was? It's not good, I can tell you that right now. Sick. Look at that. That's so gross. I'm afraid of what that is, actually. Okay. I'm actually going to put that in there for another trip around the globe. These pads are designed to go right up to the edge of the label, which is interesting. Okay. It's hard to tell because it's still wet how clean we got it, but I'm pretty confident that it's a world of difference compared to the way it was. I mean, it definitely looks a lot better. Let's take a look at the first one we cleaned, which is now a lot drier. Yeah, it was a scratched up record, but check that out. You can see the polish is still on there. That's amazing. Wow, you guys, it does a great job. You can see that rainbow sheen. Those grooves are scrubbed really thoroughly. Look at that. That was a dusty, dusty record, you guys. That looks brand new. That is amazing. Look at that. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to call that a major success, you guys. That is really cool. The Crosley Record Cleaner. I'm not sure. I think this one is discontinued, unfortunately. But there are a lot of very similar ones, and I think, honestly, any of them would do a good job for you. So I'm going to put some links in the description below. But mostly, I hope you had fun with that as much as I had fun putting it together. That was kind of cool and different. And I've got some records to clean, so I got to go. But we will catch you tomorrow, guys. Happy record hunting. See you tomorrow. One thing I did notice after using this for a while is that that rubber piece right here kind of comes out of that wheel. And it's kind of a tricky situation. I mean, I still feel like it does the job, but then the other one, what also happens is over here, the wheel gets stuck to the record sometimes because there's like a cutout and that piece of rubber is just a little bit smaller than the plastic. So sometimes the record gets stuck down in there. Overall, I think that's a minor issue, but I have found myself having to pop that down in a couple times because it'll get stuck and it'll pop out or whatever. But anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know. Kind of an interesting little postscript there. So one thing I've noticed after using this for a while now is that this definitely gets soaking wet pretty quick, so it loses its absorbency. Now, most of it air dries because of the alcohol, but you may want a few of these on standby. I don't think you could do 50 records on one cloth. I do have it now on the 78 or 10-inch setting, so I've got a dirty record here. We're just going to go around like we do with the other one. The only thing that I don't like about this is these rollers are a little finicky. I wish it was just a solid piece of plastic without the little rubber inset. I think that's a good concept, but I feel like there's so much pressure on that the record kind of gets in between the plastic and the rubber a little bit. So I wouldn't want it damaging the edge of this lip. That being said, you only need the roller you're rolling towards, so you can take this one out, if you're moving to the right with no problem. Of course, then it goes a little low, so maybe you can't do that. With the LPs, you can do that. But simple as that. It definitely cleans it. It definitely cleans it good. So I think this is the only issue I have with this thing is this gap on this roller is bigger than the rubber piece, which maybe that's standing up on its end and needs to lay flat. Then on this one, it fills it better. So yeah, this one isn't as big of a problem. But that one, yeah, the rubber needs to fill that. I think this rubber band thing, whatever, is just kind of, it should be laying flat. Oops, sorry for the focus. It should be laying flat and it's turned up on its end. So, but again, in the scheme of things, guys, this thing was awesome. Highly, highly recommended.